Fantasy Table Gaming, PTG. I am Hyper G with jingling lucky sixes.
Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle. Oh, and speaking of jingle... Get your six on batrep action with Proxy Table Gaming. Edit, right?
It's amazing.
We want to thank Mr. Matt Pell. A huge shout out for you.
Wasteland Warrior himself.
Wasteland Warrior for forum members and other things. We've actually had it for a while. The jingle, and so
we've just enjoyed it ourselves. We've not published it. Every night I have that on. It's like my sleep story.
Yeah,
just on repeat over and over again.
It'll be in the intro for from now on. We thought this was a good time because this is our last battle before Clash, so we're sort of like moving on to the next, and we wanted to introduce it here. And let you know that is going to be in every single thing because it's an awesome jingle. And
it's amazing, so cool,
incredible. You guys, honestly, I mean, thank you, Matt, but you guys in general never cease to amaze us with your generosity and creativity and everything. So, if you have anything like that, let us know. Keep it coming in. But yeah, Matt Pell, absolute legend.
Legend, top-notch legend. There's legends and there's top-notch legends, and
Can you beat that, folks?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything like that or anything you want us to sort of put on our channel, then let us know. We'll normally bring, but yeah, amazing.
We're open to anything, aren't we? Really
amazing. Thank you very much, Matt. And it's so cool. It's part of our channel now, or it will be from now on. So I just one more time. Get your six on batrep action with Proxy Table Gaming. Nice. It's nice. That's nice.
Have a little fit there while it's going on.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, oh mate, it's amazing. It's really good. We love it, and it's. But yes.
No more of that. Thank you, shenanigans. We've got a battle report to do.
We have.
And we haven't done one in a few weeks, have we? Because life.
No, yes, other things. I hope you've enjoyed all the other content we've had going on. Clash review, ETC stuff, lots more to come. But yeah, it's nice to have a battle every now and then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one of mine, which is I haven't had a battle in a little while actually, since the one with StatRat. That was a month ago. I was going to the club. So it is my Saurian Ancients, my newly reformed Saurian list, going against Paul's Vampires. Yeah. I haven't played Paul's Vampires in a long while, actually, since UB a few years back. So I was very intrigued by what he would be bringing. And we rolled up Dawn Assault and Capture the Flags. I have a thought or two on that when we get to the lists.
And in terms of this game as well, like you said, it's down the club, but it was part of a initiative, I guess, from us to start going down the club more and trying to get more games on at the same time as well.
Yes, we're really keen on, if you're anywhere near Stony Stratford, Milton Keynes, Toaster, Northamptonshire, centre of England, and you fancy coming down to the Stony Stratford Club once a month, Tony, Paul, Tom, myself, we're all going to try and get there once a month. We're going to choose a date as advanced as we can to try and get as many people down there in one go.
Yeah. But I mean, if you are in the close, anyway, hit us up. It's Thursday nights, there's no reason why we couldn't do it on the not once a month, but we want once a month to be a bit of a bigger one.
Exactly.
It was a good idea, and I think we're going to support that quite as much as we can. Anyway.
Definitely, yeah. This is my Saurian list. New recruits changed in terms of how it looks.
The font
kind of cool. Yeah. It's like old typewriter font.
Yeah.
And there's a slight change to my list from the one that went against StatRat. Basically, Vespasian contacted me and said that he thought that my Saurian Warlord needed a Glory of Golden State Gaming, Vespasian. Check out their YouTube channel.
Yes.
He contacted me and said that my Saurian Warlord was not as scary as he should be. basically that monsters had no problem coming into my block of Saurian warriors, and that if I equipped him on foot with the spear Glory of the Dawn Age, which is multiple wounds 2 and puts him at strength 6, then monsters, gigantic stuff, would be less inclined to come into my big block.
Sure.
So I'm going to give that a go. So that did mean that I took off paired weapons, the Potion of Swiftness, and what's the reroll to wound weapon? The
Blessed
really good
Inscriptions.
one. Yes, Blessed Inscriptions. So I took all those off because I now needed a spear with the Glory of the Dawn Age, which is quite expensive. But I did have room to fit on Taurosaur's Vigor, which gives him an extra HP and an extra armor. So he's actually 1-up armor, no Aegis save or anything like that. So yeah, there is that vulnerability a little bit. Everything else has stayed the same, mostly. The Saurian Veteran is the same with Tome of Mixotal still. Skink Priest is still the same. I've got a picture of him this time, so there's no, you're playing your Skink Priest with stand behind in a unit of Saurians. It doesn't work. I'll show you what I'm doing. The 2 Ramphadons still there. Everyone, when they see I've got 2 Alpha Ramphadons, they say, why are they not on Pterodons? And I'm like, I just like Ramphadons. But yeah, probably should be.
How much cheaper are they? If
they're not. Pterodons are 5 points more expensive. But I could take off the Light Lance, which is 5 points, and make them exactly the same cost. So maybe they should be. I kind of like the Ramphadons because they wouldn't have threatened your Highborn Elves in the same way if they were Pterodons.
Yeah, true.
The Ramphadon going mental.
They can actually do a war machine, can't they?
Exactly, yeah. Whereas I don't think a Pterodon can really go through a war machine, certainly not in one turn.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see. And I don't own any Pterodons as well, so that would be Proxy if I did that.
Sure.
Hey, that's no problem for us, right?
Yeah.
The Saurian Warriors are still the same, the Core's the same. The Raptor Riders all gained a champion, just because I had 30 points and I was nearly ready to go to battle, so I just stuck 30 points on them.
Yep.
And then everything else is the same. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how we go.
Nice.
Into Paul's VC. My eyes go to
Speaking of
a
monsters.
few things. Yeah, yeah. Well, the monster 920-point vampire count. That guy's not on a monster. He's on a horse, for goodness sake.
Insane.
And he's still
points.
920 points. What the hell?
So this is coming off the back of him using a Vampire Lord dragon.
Yes, which is taken off.
Which is taken off, and he basically put him on a horse for a bit of extra armor and stuff.
And made him a wizard master, I would think.
No, he was a wizard master before.
Was he already a master?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because this is part of this way back when in like February sort of time. Part of Craig's podcast from Slanrat, Slanrat, however you say it, saying that any sort of master on occultism on a big monster is awesome because it has normally fighty, and then the occultism adds all the shooting and stuff. I know that others have tried that and included that, but Paul did it on a dragon and came, I want to say third in the Masters
Open. In the Open. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did well.
So, but he's dropped the dragon, which I'm sad for.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
But he has got two Shrieking Horrors, so he's kind of making up for it.
Cool. Be interested to see how that vampire count gets on as well, because I'm used to Killian Killerson. It's slightly different. Then he's got the Vampire Courtier with Unbreakable Will. I still don't really know what that did. Something to do with Stubborn.
So that halves the combat score you get.
Yes.
For Crumble.
And makes you stubborn. Is that right? I think.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Because I know that Paul had a little
which is
piece of paper on.
That's what Stubborn does.
Yeah. Oh right, sure. So it gives them Stubborn then. Basically.
Yeah. So and he's a BSB as well. I don't know quite what he did explain it, but I don't know quite what order that comes in. But obviously with the Legion standards and everything.
Combat res is not going to crumble skeletons because he's going in the skeletons.
Yeah. Usually they will be steadfast, which means you're a maximum of 12 crumble. Obviously, with Unbreakable Will, Stubborn, that means you're 6, and then -1 presumably is Legion banner with the BSB is 5. So
there's actually 2 Legion banners.
I meant the BSB because you crumble 1 less with a BSB.
Yes.
So I think your maximum you should crumble with skeletons is 5, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've still got the ranks with the Legion standard, then you're losing combat by 2 less anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously he's got a Necromancer to make that unit of 35 skeletons up to potentially 70 as well.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, exactly. So it's a good way of using skeletons, I think. You don't see skeletons a lot these days, other than if they're with the what's it called? The one I like. Not the Black Coach, the other one platform. Anyway.
Oh, yes, the Ultra
Court of the Damned.
Court of Undeath.
Court of the Damned or whatever it is. Yeah, one of those.
Anyway,
he's got a Necro and a Banshee. The Necro is Evocation with Book of Arcane Mastery, so +2 on the first cast. Very cool. The standard unit of 40 ghouls, which everyone has. A unit of 20 zombies, which everyone seems to have, and they won't stay 20 for long, probably. 8 ghasts. Interested to see them with their 5-up fortitude and res 5. Yeah, they're solid, yeah. 2 great bats, which appeared in my top 3 chat, obviously. And 2 shrieking horrors. Oh no. I mean, I saw the shrieking horrors and I was like, I've got 3 units of cavalry which are just evaporated immediately by them. And unless I keep my cavalry in corners away from everywhere, they're just dead, literally instantly. And probably the Taurosaur is probably possibly quite dead soon as well, and you as well, because these 5-up just can't save against 2 shrieks. Really.
They're such a good counter to armor in an army that realistically, apart from like the top dogs, don't have AP.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they do have the magic. They have access to magic and stuff, but obviously this one doesn't have high AP magic with Evo. But yeah, I mean, and that's why I wanted to try it, and that's why I'm trying it at Clash for future things. But 510 is a very expensive unit, so 1,000 points right there.
I know, worth every penny in my opinion. But I mean, because we rolled up Capture the Flags as well, my Saurian cavalry blocks are even more important. So I was thinking to myself, why capture the flags against 2 shrieking horrors when I've got a 2-up armor unit that just gets killed instantly? So I was just thinking this is horrible right from the off, really. And I was going to see what I could do about it, really. So let's go into battle, and I start with this picture. Because this is my skink priest, who is sitting on the side of the Quattle. The Quattle is asleep and is not in this battle.
There we go.
The skink priest is my druidism guy using the stamp behind it, the Saurian warriors. That is clarification for all those people who think I'm playing my skink priest wrong, or playing my Quattle wrong, whichever one you think it is. Yes. So there he is. I know, clearly. I mean, he needs a name. He needs a name. So let me know. I mean, traditionally, I've had Ixion as my skink priest as my name.
Can he be Squawk?
He can be Squawk if you think that's a good enough name. Yeah, Squawk. All right. Yeah, cool. No, technically, Ixion used to be the BSB that rode the Taurosaur. So he can be Squawk.
Well, beat Squawk, folks.
Yes.
If you come up with a name better than Squawk,
you
will take it.
Please.
Otherwise, it's
right.
Squawk.
Okay, so this is deployment. I think we kept going for quite a long while dropping. I could have deployed and dropped for first. Paul blatantly wanted second turn. And in fact, he dropped with a 2-0 advantage to get second in the end, because he saw that I wasn't going to drop to take first. I would have tried to go second if I could, to force him into moving forward to get in range of magic.
Absolutely.
So I didn't think his list was terribly aggressive, really. And I had some range, whereas he only had the screams and a little bit of occultism. So I also wanted second, but not enough to drop for second, because I wanted to know where his horrors were.
Of course,
And very swiftly, I think I made a bit of an error with judging where those horrors went, which I'll explain when it happens. But can you spot it? Barry, I mean, you actually came to see the battle a little bit.
I was.
So, do you know what I did wrong based on how I go?
So you've put your units down wrong.
There's a couple of units that I think are in a silly place based on the fact that I suspect I'm getting first turn.
You're going first. Okay, fair enough. I would say. Oh, I can't spot it.
Fair enough. Well, it'll come up later.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I think I took some close-ups of Paul's beautiful models because they are amazing. I mean, he's got a lot of conversions and things like that. Is that Naga?
Yes, Nagash.
Nagash, that's the one. Yeah, very beautiful models. Yeah. The ghouls in bus formation, which you don't see all that often, I don't think.
Well,
they can usually hold their own,
I just run them 8 or 7 wide. I don't know whether it's just me.
Is it just you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, not just me. I do see it both, but you see it both. But I think I play it.
Okay.
Wider than bus formation.
Fair enough. Yeah. So there they are. Okay. I think I'll do that picture. I did. Right. So this is my movement. I do come forward, which technically I guess puts him in range. But I didn't want him to sit back forever, if that makes sense. I wanted to get the game on, and I also wanted to make it tough for his Shrieking Horrors to come forward without taking on anything useful.
Sure.
My one unit of chameleons couldn't get around the impassable terrain, the ruins, so I only was able to put one forward. My 2 cavalry on the left flank are both more than scream range away, so he can't move up one of his Shrieking Horrors to scream cavalry unit to begin with. Similarly with the salamander. And yeah, I was just sort of like biding my time to begin with and setting the scene. I did contemplate using the Relentless Banner on my Saurian block to get all the way in the face of the ghasts. The reason I chose not to do that was because I couldn't move a Ramphadon or a Salamander or a Spearback to chaff his skeletons yet. And I wasn't ready for both the ghasts and the skeletons with the vampire in. I think I could have taken one or the other, but not both at the same time. So I didn't pull the trigger just yet. I just moved up. I did leave him 11 with the ghasts, which I was actually really hoping he would go for and get. I thought that might be enough to tempt him. He didn't.
I would say, though, if you are hoping for him to get it, you're not setting up any counter charges.
I'm not. I don't think I need them.
Okay.
I don't think I need them, if I'm honest. I think I killed the ghasts over 2 turns, even without magic. If I'm honest. I mean, I know that the Saurian warriors themselves are wounded on 5s, but I can pop my offensive skill banner. No, actually, that doesn't make a difference to the ghasts, which I found out later. But yeah, no, I can hit. I think I can deal with them over 2 turns, basically.
Okay. Just because of combat res.
Combat res and just killing them. Yeah. My warlord with multiple wounds too.
Sure. That will help.
Which Vespasian has said that's a good thing to have against multi-wound models. So I think he does like 3 or 4 wounds, which translates to 6 or 8, depending on how he gets on.
Sure.
So,
they got 5 up ages though, regen, haven't they? So.
Yeah, and I have no flaming, so there is that, which could spike it either way. Yeah. Cool. Right. In Magic, and this is where I think I played something wrong. I managed to get 2 spells off. He dispelled the other one, which I had range. Hand of Heaven was my Crown of the Wizard King, which is cool. My other one, Master of Earth, was the one that got dispelled. I got these 2 off. And I did 4 wounds to the Shrieking Horror. And I'm thinking to myself, damn it! I really should have had my chameleons over there.
Yeah.
Both units. I mean, if we go back to where they were, I could only get 1 unit round the impassable ruins.
Yeah.
If I'd have had both 18 inches from that Shrieking Horror on the right.
Why did you put them there?
Because
the
forest.
One of the wides.
I could be 12 inches away from his units by deploying in the forest.
Right, okay.
Whereas if I'd have deployed further back, I'd be 18 inches away. Which is still not too far for a chameleon, because they can move 12 and shoot 12.
Sure.
So it was poor placement of the chameleons, basically.
Okay.
Whether I go out wide on the left or out wide on the right, I should have gone one or the other. And I got too focused on the fact that I could deploy 12 inches in the forest.
Okay.
So either way, it was bad placement. And because I did so well in the magic phase, imagine 20 shots. I mean, on average, that should kill the Shrieking Horror. Exactly, yeah. So I was delighted that I did 4 wounds, because it means Paul's now got to use some magic to recover that instead of shooting at me with occultism. But yeah, it was like a bit of a bittersweet one, that one.
Sure, yeah.
And speaking of shooting, which is this after his turn? I'm not sure, that might be end of turn. No, it's his turn. His turn is moved to Shrieking Horror behind the ruins. But those 5 chameleons on the left do 0 wounds. Didn't roll a single 6. So maybe if I'd have got both units on the other side, it would have been down to the second unit to roll 2 6s. But hey,
sure, yeah.
So Paul very defensively, as I kind of expected he might do, which is why coming forward was the right move a little bit. I think Paul was kind of hoping I'd just stay back and wait for him, and then he'd get an extra turn to do this or whatnot. It's a very patient player in this one. He moves his Shrieking Horror to Shriek the Chameleon, so I'm going to lose that unit as well, which isn't ideal. But minimal movement. They shriek. Magic is relatively uneventful. I can't remember if he... Oh, no, he heals 2 wounds on his Shrieking Horror. I dispel the 1 from the Necromancer, which means he can't get Gates of the Netherworld, and then he heals 2 wounds with 2 Arises, basically, which I couldn't stop. Yeah, so the Shriek kills a Chameleon unit, so, yeah, gutted, really. They didn't achieve much. There's those 2 wounds healed on the Shrieking Horror. Over to my turn. Magic-wise, I rolled the lowest one, and those dice, I actually rolled a 1-2-2 in casting Spark of Creation.
Nice.
Which meant Spark of Creation didn't go off, because I didn't have a +1 from the Skink Priest of Death. So I didn't get any spells off in my Magic phase.
Solid.
Which is annoying. Yeah. So yes, Paul moves his infantry all forwards. I was delighted to see the Shrieking Horror move backwards behind his line. Because it meant that is 2 turns that he has not shrieked off my cavalry.
Yes.
So I was really happy that he didn't come forward. I mean, technically, both of my cavalry units on my left, I'm keeping more than shriek distance away. So he would have to come forward and threaten me. And chances are I would move backwards. I would. To keep my cavalry alive. So I was pleased. And he was kind of stating intent, but I was getting the impression that my unit of Saurians could take either one of these 3 units. I just needed to make the charge.
Fair enough.
And chaff the rest, was my thinking.
Sure.
So there we go. Now we are into my turn 3. And this is after my failed charges with my Taurosaur and my Saurian unit. So, yeah, and I'm back on par now to my turn 3. My Saurians charged into the Ghasts, needing an 8, which I thought was very doable, and failed. I literally moved like 1 inch forwards, which was a bit gutting. The Taurosaur didn't move very far either, despite Swift Stride. He needed a 9 on Swift Stride to get into the Ghast. But on his own, maybe he might have struggled. I don't know. My other charge, though, was into the flank of the Ghouls. Paul left me that one narrowly, and I decided to charge through the forest. One guy went through the forest and charged into the flank of the Ghouls.
Was it a long charge?
That was 8, because of the cavalry. So,
surprising,
not too bad.
Actually.
As it happens, I mean, like thinking to myself, there's 40 Ghouls there. Can I get through them? My answer, I already know, is no. I don't think I can get through them.
No.
But what I do think is that Ghouls are AP 0 and I can hold them in place for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 turns, depending on whether Paul reinforces it. But either way, I've now taken it from Taurosaur and Saurians versus Ghasts and Skeletons, rather than versus Ghasts, Skeletons and Ghouls. So that was my thinking of taking that charge. And also, that cavalry unit can't be screamed while I'm in combat with Ghouls. So I was kind of protecting a scoring unit as well. This is a picture you took of the battle in action. There it is.
Everybody thinking.
Concentration going into the magic phase.
Serious.
Yes. And did I do anything magic? I can't remember, but I moved a Ramphadon to chaff the Ghasts and the Skeletons. Technically, I think I could have taken 1 charge. No, actually, I think he's only chaffing the Skeletons, actually.
Okay.
But yes, I did that so that both the Ghasts and the Skeletons could charge into his flank.
Yeah, you don't want the combat res, I don't think.
No, exactly, yeah.
So is he having his horse behind his Ghast so that you can't see him?
Yes, but occultism doesn't need line of sight.
Yeah, so you can't target him. Is that what he's doing there?
Pretty much. He's also got magic distance 2 on his vampire. But yes, I was really happy that he had a 920 point character sandwiched in the middle of his line. So I didn't care.
Yeah, and he's not even giving himself options to charge out.
No, I was fine with that. It was 920 points. But you know how I always used to have a go at you for having a wizard on a dragon and not using the dragon part except to fly around? And I always used to say to you, you may as well put him on an eagle and save yourself 400 points if you're going to play him like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a bit harsh, but I was being harsh to you. But I kind of, I'm allowed to do that. But I kind of felt that way with Paul, and I was like, that's 920 points of vampire character that is just a magic caster. It's a wizard master.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, so I was kind of really happy that he was boxed in there. Going over to the combat here, Magic must have not done. Oh no, Magic didn't do a huge deal as far as I can remember. I had 2 bad Magic phases in a row. Didn't cast a lot. Yeah, the cavalry do amazing and actually kill like 9 or 10 ghouls. Actually more than that, about 15 there, including crumble. I mean, he does pass his discipline test because he's steadfast and he can use his general and BSB. Unusual for vampires to have a BSB. But yeah, he reforms and is now facing me. He was hoping to plink 1 wound off so he'd get his undying hunger or whatever it is. But he didn't kill 1, which was great. So he won't be rerolling to hit yet.
Which is great.
Into Paul's turn. He doesn't declare any charges. There was a possibility for the Shrieking Horror to charge into the cavalry, but it was really tight. We had a lot of discussion on that, didn't we? Because you were still at the table at this point.
Yeah.
But either way, Paul turned down the charge. I think he could have charged, but he would have been on my side of the board. He couldn't get on the left side as you're looking at it now.
Sure.
He could only get on the right side, where I could have then charged him with a whole lot. And he didn't want that, so he didn't charge. Didn't charge my chaffing Ramphadon either. Didn't see any threat that the Ramphadon could go for, so left him alone. And the fell bat, giant bats, come up and chaff the Taurosaur. He grows back a whole load of ghouls, which is a shame. Even less likely that my cavalry will actually get through them. But that was never their game plan anyway. It would have been great if they could, but he also gets Breath of Corruption on his champion in the ghouls, and I actually failed to kill the champion. No, I couldn't kill the champion in my first round of combat because I wasn't in touch with the champion. However, because I was in the flank originally. But as it happens, he's got one of Rise off, which would have brought the champion back, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. And it meant he can get a Breath of Corruption on the champion. One thing he was interested in was if the champion does a wound or 2 with Breath of Corruption, which he has every chance of doing, would that mean he gets his rerolls to hit? Because it happens before, or what?
Yeah,
the rank and
I don't know. I don't know what the hunger thing says, or whether it's melee or whether it's combat attacks.
We read the rule and it doesn't affect the reroll. So getting the breath weapon off doesn't help him get rerolls. He shrieks the Ramphadon, which is fine. Can't argue with that. It's always going to happen. He does quite well with his ghouls in this round of combat. Obviously now he's facing the right way, so he's got more attacks at 15 instead of.
He's going first as well, isn't he?
He is now going. He was always going first. Yes, correct. Yeah. So kills 2. I kill a few, but not anywhere near as much as when I was strength 6. But I am holding, which is good. I'm still winning combat and holding. So.
Yeah, it's good you're winning combat.
Or maybe I'm not winning combat, but I'm passing. I don't remember. It was a draw. This one was a draw. Dead draw.
There we go.
So yeah, I remember a dead draw. Here we go. I charge in now. So this is the second time I've attempted this charge. The spearback goes into the flank of the giant bats because I want the Taurosaur to be completely available. Technically, he would have been available if he went to the giant bats, but and I think the Saurian unit can take the ghasts on their own. And my plan is to chaff the skeletons to give them a fair whack at it. This time I get in. Hooray! I know, game on. And I've got a magic phase to buff them up even more, so loving that. My spearback goes up to chaff the skeletons, and I'm also lining up to, not my spearback, my salamander goes up to chaff the skeletons, and I'm also lining up the second salamander to shoot both of their flamethrowers into the skeletons, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes, because they love themselves some Res 3 infantry.
They very much do. So in terms of, this is end of your, or start of your 4.
Yes.
And you went first, so the second half of the game. In terms of flags, you've obviously got your 3 cavalry units, and then the big block.
Yes, I also have a hidden unit of skinks, which is hiding on basically where I'm sitting.
Sure, which aren't going to be part of the game.
Dead center, and they are not moving. They move sideways a few times, away from Shrieking Horrors.
And from his point of view, he's got 4. He's got zombies at the back, ghouls engaged, the ghasts, and the skeletons in the middle.
The ghasts are not scoring.
Ghasts are not scoring. How very
Which is a shame. It
How
almost made
very
me tempted
interesting.
to charge the skeletons instead of the ghouls, instead of the ghasts. But I had to deal with the ghasts, I felt. Ghasts are not scoring.
I don't think you could have. You should.
It would have been a longer charge, and I'd already failed an 8. I couldn't just hang around any longer, really. So, there's the skinks. Nicely hiding. Yeah. In terms of other movement, a Taurosaur is just lining up a charge for the skeletons for after the Saurians have dealt with the ghasts, hopefully.
Sure.
In reserve almost. But I am a bit conscious that I need to get through the ghasts this turn to stop the Shrieking Horror from coming around my flank and getting the Taurosaur.
Yeah.
So that is a potential problem. One thing that makes me even more confident of getting through the ghasts, I get Stone Skin off, which is a defensive thing. So I'm now res 7 because I've got Open Throne up as well. So that's cool. It just limits my damage I'm going to be taking. I don't know how. Basically, you saw my dice roll earlier from when I rolled a 1-2-2 in my Spark Operation attempt. Paul managed to roll 4 dice and failed to dispel Rod of Battle on an 8. So I did do it on an 8. He didn't fail it on a 5. But yeah, I got Rod of Battle through, so now I'm hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, which is amazing. So good. Salamanders, flame time. Look at those skeletons. Wow. They're all gone.
It's like 20 gone.
Oh, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Loved it. Just incinerated so many.
Yeah.
So good. And Paul said, I forgot how good salamanders were at shooting infantry. I was like, there you go. There's a cheeky little reminder for you.
So many ranks as well, right?
So, yeah. He flinks another cavalry unit off, and obviously every cavalry I lose, the less damage I'm doing back. But I do hold still, so that's fine. Technically, I might have been happier. No, I wanted to hold this turn. Maybe next turn I want to die so I can get more cavalry in. But, yeah. Of course, once I do die, I've lost a scoring unit, so there is that. But I'm still keeping the ghouls busy, and Paul has to use magic to keep growing them back, so I'm fine with that. Over here, this is either very, very good or very, very frustrating.
Woo.
So that ghast that you see there is the champion with 1 HP left.
Wow.
1 HP.
That's a lot of wounds you've just done to him. How much is that? He's got.
So there's 8 of them.
8 in there. It's 24 wounds in that.
I did 23 wounds to that unit. My Saurian Warlord did 8 of them.
And that's obviously after crumble.
Yeah, it is after crumble. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually gutted.
How many attacks do you have?
He has 5 attacks, and he did 4 wounds, and then Paul didn't fortitude any of them.
Oh,
so
that's brutal.
And it wasn't flaming. I mean, the Lord was hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, and wounding on 3s.
Yeah, it's just the 5 of pages.
So exactly, yeah. So it was pretty brutal, really.
Nice. Nice.
I was gutted though because I only need like a 4 to overrun into the Shrieking Horror.
No, this is great.
So
this is great.
I know it's great because I can charge something else in my next turn after I killed him in his turn. That's
and you have a free pivot.
It is, but I was really worried about losing the Taurosaur to the Shrieking Horror.
Right, sure.
So and that's 500 points that the Taurosaur will just die.
I mean, but you'll get the Shrieking Horror directly after. Yes,
because I could have reformed to then charge the Shrieking Horror. Correct. True. But I kind of thought, really he didn't have a lot of counter charges. If I'd have come forward, he could have charged his vampire count into the flank. Maybe even his zombies into the flank if he wants a combat res thing. But I think I kill enough zombies to negate that.
The zombies don't.
Maybe even no, exactly. So I thought I was so close to killing that guy. So I get that it's still.
You could have had an overrun. To be fair, that's it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I was happy, but also a little bit. Oh, what could have been? Yeah. So over here, I made a mistake in that I moved my cavalry forward within screen range.
Hi.
I was doing so well to not do that and not give him a scream by keeping my last 2 cavalry units too far away. And I was hoping Paul maybe didn't spot that I just moved him forward a little tiny.
He's watching you.
He was watching the whole time, and here he goes. He's going to scream. So gutted. What made up for the fact that the Ghast survived with 1 wound is the fact that the other Shrieking Horror failed a March test on a rerollable 9. Rerollable 9.
Oh, goodness.
So even more gutted that I didn't get that. That's the perfect. That's the perfect scenario that I didn't kill the Ghast because he hasn't actually managed to kill the Taurosaur. So, and now I can reform the Saurians and be where I like. But for the fact that he has moved his Great Bats so that I can't now reform my Saurians to face the Shrieking Horror.
Well, because you couldn't charge because you have to change your...
Exactly. I could change formation, but then I wouldn't be able to charge. So that's just a demonstration of how Paul is very tactic savvy. Basically, after I kill the Ghast, the only way I can reform the Saurian warriors without getting within an inch of the bats is I can either go face forward, exactly where I am now, or I can do a 180 and face backwards. There's no pivoting because I would get to within 1 inch of the bats. If I pivoted, so if I move my left side forward and my right side backwards, I still can't get an overrun where I kill the bats and overrun into the Shrieking Horror because we worked that out.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way. That's the only way. That's the only way I can pivot. If I move left, basically, I don't know how that's going to show on the picture.
Would you not be in his flank?
No, there was no overrun because the fell bats were facing forward. Oh no, sorry.
But like if you pivoted.
I was not in his. No, I couldn't. He would have to turn to face me after I hit them. So I was in the flank.
Is that because of the skeletons?
Of the bats. Yes, because of the skeletons. I couldn't fit in that gap.
Finickety space.
Finickety wickety woo. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, it was a good little chaff thing from Paul there.
Sure.
Another chaffing. You can barely see it because it's just above the Ramphadon. The Banshee comes out and stands in front of the Taurosaur.
Yep.
Which is an annoying little thing. Fortunately, the little Reaper thing that he jumps on and jumps off didn't do anything to the Taurosaur, so that was good.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, you'll see the Spearback actually did 3 wounds to the fell bats after crumble. The bats it was into combat with, which again is fine because I can kill it over 2 turns. So
yeah.
He gets spectral blades off on his ghouls, which is scary. Probably means the end of that cavalry unit. Let's be honest.
You'd think so.
Yeah. So there's that. He screams off this unit. Silly me. I didn't need that cavalry unit. Didn't need that cavalry unit at all. That cavalry unit could have been more than screaming distance away.
So currently he's winning.
He's 1-0 up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And soon to be 2-0 up once the cavalry die to the ghouls. So.
Sure. Oh, brutal.
And speaking of which, there they are. Yes. So there is that. He also combat reformed because he can. It's my turn next.
Sure.
So there's that.
So there is the. I was going to say the king just got moved. Did he? The vampire.
Yeah, the vampire count.
He's not facing.
Don't know why he's facing that way.
He clearly just got moved to one year. Because on the next picture he's facing forward.
Oh sure, yeah. He's got his little marker out for the face. So yeah, he's probably moving forward. Yeah. And so I think this next picture, which I've kind of already spoiled a little bit, is I've made a few mistakes in this battle, and I'm holding my hand up for that. I think this is my biggest mistake yet.
Oh no!
But I would be interested to know whether you agree with me after knowing the dice results.
Okay.
Because I got a dice spike in my next picture, and I want to know whether if I didn't get that dice spike, whether you think it would have been a good move.
Sure.
So, in the comments, and lucky sixes, I charged my cavalry unit through the forest. I also charged my salamander, my spearback, and my Ramphadon, which has now been replaced by a bat unit because it was easier to stand on the forest terrain. So I charged 4 units into the ghouls. My thought process was my cavalry unit of 2-up armor go into the front and take most of the ghoul attacks at AP 0.
Who goes first?
He goes first.
He's not AP 0, is he, with lethal strike?
No, but he's only got lethal strike. He is AP 0, but he's got lethal strike.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but he has got rerolls to hit. So there is that, but I still don't think he's going to kill that many. It's fine. I mean, you can give me your honest opinion. I think it was a mistake anyway.
Rerolls to hit, rerolls to wound, lethal strike. against 5 cavalry.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's nice. I don't mind the others going in at all.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I mean, what made it worse for me was the fact that 3 cavalry die in the forest.
Yeah.
I rolled 3 out of 5. I rolled 3 once.
That's unlucky.
Well, that is unlucky. Yeah. But either way, like you say,
the lethal strike puts me way off. Off.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing.
If you had 2 wounds each, I might.
Also, another factor in why this was a mistake is because did I need to do that?
You just flame them, couldn't you?
Exactly. Flame them. I could have spearbacked them. I could have magicked them. I could have done any number of different things. I could have got this cavalry unit away from the Shrieking Horror. I could have, like you say, flamed and speared and done all sorts. The skeletons even aren't.
What strength are they on the charge?
The cavalry are strength 6.
Was there into the Shrieking Horror's flank?
Yeah, from again going through the forest though.
I would have done that.
I mean, I mean, not so much if only 2 survive, but
yeah, absolutely. Knowing that only 2 go in, but like if you have charge flank, you have banner.
No.
Charge flank. You're going first with.
I would have 5 attacks if only 2 survive.
Yeah.
Or 11 if all
11 strength 6 attacks is pretty
plus
good.
Plus 10 raptors. Yeah.
You'll lose. I reckon you'll lose 2 back. I think he's crumbling.
And then again, I don't use my Ramphadon and my Spearback and my Salamander for what they've done. Yeah. So either way, I think this is a mistake. Sure. Even if I get 5 cavalry, which you think is dicey, and I don't disagree.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see if anybody thinks that's a good idea and why.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a chance that not all 3 of the others get in with 5 cavalry anyway.
Yeah.
I think there might not be room for all 4 of them to get in if I've got 5 cavalry.
Because the ghouls go before your cavalry, don't they?
Yeah, they go after the Spearback, after the Ramphadon, and after the Salamander, though. So I might have reduced attacks for that reason, because I would have been agility 5 with all of them.
Vote now, folks.
I would have had 3 Skink Captain attacks with strength 5. I would have had 2 plus a D3 Ramphadon attacks, re-rolling to hit with lethal strike and all that jazz, and battle focus on the Ramphadon. I would have had 6 strength 4 hits with my Salamander and Spearback. Yeah. So that's quite a lot of attacks going before the ghouls. But you're right.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't mind it just
that's why I'm thinking it's okay. But yeah,
okay.
But anyway, I think I didn't need to do it either way. Either way, I didn't need to.
But it's not a mistake yet.
Sure. Okay. I gas, of course, and I stay facing forward. As is the end of that combat. And what you'll see is I've got a little single Saurian who's gone into the flank of the bats.
Cheeky chappy.
He could get in the flank. He's my warlord. And he's thinking, well, if I overrun into the Shrieking Horror, A, I keep the Shrieking Horror in place, and my Taurosaur's safe from that one. And B, with 5 strength 6 attacks, multiple wins too, maybe I can just pop the Shrieking Horror before it shrieks.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. Because if it shrieks, I'm dead.
I suppose you have to do 3 wounds. But yeah, 3 wounds is quite ambitious.
It is ambitious. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, considering he's got 6 up and you've got wounded him with 4s.
Yeah, exactly. So it's ambitious, but dream.
Oh, absolutely, mate. I love a dreamer.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of my army is now committed into the ghouls, which is a shame. I have got a single Salamander still chaffing the skeletons, although technically I debated whether I needed them to. The only reason I kept him chaffing was because I didn't want him running forward past my Saurians.
Yeah.
And getting out of everything. And I just flamed them again. Not for very much, but so over here, I think that was just a picture of the charge. I overran. I killed the bats. Obviously, it will happen in his turn. So yeah, killed the bats easy enough. I think Paul just removed them actually. Fair enough.
That's even the charge of the flank.
In my magic, I made a bit of a stupid error. I put healing waters on the Spearback. Why is that a stupid error?
Right.
Lethal strike bypasses fortitude. 4 up fortitude. I was thinking the Spearback might take a few ball attacks, so put it on him.
Sure.
It was kind of a bit of a way to get dice out of Paul, but didn't work. And I put it on a target that.
And you could have raised potentially. with Oaken
Yes, I could have done, and I mean, I should have raised with Healing Waters. Technically, I should have had 3 cavalry, but I forgot.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
I just forgot. I could have had an extra cavalry because I had Oaken thrown out. Yeah, I had Oaken thrown out for most of the battle. To be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, and in the combat, I lose the cavalry, and you'll notice that the ghouls have taken barely any damage. I've never seen Spearback, Salamander, and Ramphadon and Skin Captain roll so badly in my life. They all, between them, I think, killed 2 ghouls. So that reinforces the theory that those attacking first isn't going to be enough to save the cavalry.
Sure.
And he easily kills 2. Would he have easily killed 5? Maybe. So yeah, it was definitely a mistake in all manner of thinking. The Taurosaurus killed the Banshee as well in my turn previously. With impact hits, I think. I rolled 6 on the impact hits. That's 7 impact hits into the Banshee. even with his Aegis, it was still dead. Yes, here comes another Shrieking Horror. Because obviously that one is on a rampage now.
So did you win combat then, in that regard? How did we stick? Where did everyone stick?
I did win combat because he was now 8 wide, so didn't have any ranks. He doesn't have a standard. I charged. He only killed 2, and I killed at least 2 ghouls. So I think it was a draw, and the BSB just prevented any wounds for the ghouls. So it was such a low scoring combat that it was almost a non-event, really.
Fair enough.
So I only lost 2 cavalry, so I only lost 2 wounds myself. Nothing else took a win. So
okay.
In fact, the Ramphadon may have taken on. No, it might be later. Anyway, Shrieking Horror's coming to go for the Taurosaur, and his vampire count is still being that mobile magic buff.
Yeah.
With a potential Graves Call coming on the Taurosaur as well. Because that vampire's got like a 6-inch extended range as well, which is cool.
Yes. Arcane knowledge.
Like Graves Call with 18-inch range is scary AF. So, and indeed, the Scream. Magic does 4 wounds with Graves Call because I can't stop it.
Yeah.
I think I used all my dice to try and stop it and failed. So, I'm starting to think, this isn't going to be my battle. There's a few things have just gone wrong. I've had a few mistakes and dice not quite working out for me.
Sure.
And the Scream finishes him off easily. I think I saved a few with Aegis, about as many as you'd expect from average, but I wouldn't have expected him to survive that anyway. So, bye-bye Taurosaur. You didn't do a lot. Just killed a Banshee, really, and failed a charge. This is where the ghouls start turning the tide, as you would expect. 2 wounds on the Ramphadon, killed the Spearback because they're laughing about Healing Waters.
Did they get Spectral Blades off again? They got
Spectral Blades off again. I saved all my dice for Graves Call and then failed to dispel it.
Yeah.
So, figures.
It's such a good combo with them.
Spectral Blades is built for ghouls.
Yeah.
So
it nullifies all of their weaknesses.
Yeah, it does. We were running out of time, so my Saurians charged into the skeletons, not overly prettily, but not dead. They're just moving quickly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're all fine. And there's that. My Salamander was now just a bit lost in the middle. And didn't really have anywhere to go because he's prime Shrieking Horror target next turn. Wherever he goes, Speaking of which, no, not quite. In the combat, I cast Stone Skin on the Salamander just because. Oh, I didn't get a picture of the Warlord, did I?
No, killing the other Shrieking Horror.
So the Warlord did indeed kill the Shrieking Horror over 2 turns of combat. But it was over 2 turns of combat, and he got a Shriek on me. And does 3 wounds to the Warlord. You can't see them here because he didn't carry them with him.
Right.
And when I cast Stone Skin, which you can see on the Salamander, I healed a wound on my Warlord to bring him back to one wound left. But Taurosaur's Vigor was what gave him 4 wounds.
Sure.
Which I'd added to him this turn.
Yeah, and like the toughness doesn't matter really with the Shriek.
The Shriek, exactly, yeah. Yeah, so a few things have skipped there, because we were running out of time.
Sure.
But also, after killing the Shrieking Horror, my Warlord turned around, charged into a long charge into the flank of the ghouls. He actually needed a 12 to get into the zombies, and I thought, no, I won't do that because I need a 12. So I'll charge needing a 9 to get into the flank of the ghouls.
Okay, yeah, reasonable.
So that was my decision. I then go and roll a 12, I would have got into the zombies. But
no, you don't want to be in at this stage
no,
of the game. You know?
I think the warlord wouldn't have been able to kill all the zombies. He had to the last turn. This is my turn 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, the warlord goes into the flank of the ghouls, which helps to kill a few, but the ghouls still manage to finish off the salamander and the last wound on the Ramphrodon.
Sure.
So, wow. And yeah, because I managed to heal a wound on the warlord, he has 2 wounds left, which means Paul won't get half points from a warlord, which is great. I don't think I have the last picture symbol, so I don't know when we're going to have the last picture coming up. But essentially, the ghouls managed to reform to face my warlord for the last turn of combat, which I don't think much happens. And he screams off the salamander.
Well, there we go.
And I think this will probably be the last picture. So, yeah, we counted up. I thought it was probably going to be about 14-6 to Paul, because he definitely won the objective, and it felt like he'd killed more points than me.
Yeah, sure.
And we added it up, and turned out to be an objective win for Paul.
13-7,
10-10 on points. We were only different by 200 points.
So because you got a bit restless with your...
Yeah, with 3 units of chaff and charged into ghouls, I gave him so many points in this game. I gave him at least 2 cavalry blocks. Like, if you take away the one that charged the flank of the ghouls at the start, that one was okay, because they kept the ghouls busy for like 3
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't mind that. But the other 2 cavalry blocks I gave to him. I gave him a salamander. I gave him a spearback. I gave him a Ramphrodon in that charge on the ghouls.
Sure, yeah.
I also, my other salamander died to the last scream. I gave him so many points, and I reckon if I didn't give him those points, also the Taurosaur, if I hadn't given him a speed bump through one of my cavalry units, maybe that Shrieking Horror doesn't come forward.
Yeah.
So overall, I think I could have snatched something out of this one.
Well, if you combine that with the focus fire on the Terrorgeist,
exactly. If I kill that one right in turn 1, which I should have placed my chameleons, I think this one. I mean, fair play to Paul; he played it very well. And, I think
Paul's a good player.
Paul's a very good player, but I felt like this was missed opportunities and mistakes that led me to not push on for more. However, against 2 Shrieking Horrors, when your scoring units are armoured up and capture the flags, I'm delighted with 7 points.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Like, I'm really happy to have only had an objective loss on this one. I don't think there's any way I can win that objective with 2 Shrieking Horrors on the board, unless I kill one right from the off.
Sure.
So yeah, I was happy with 7 points. Like, if this was a tournament game, 7 points is better than 0.
Oh yeah.
Which I think it very much could have been.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really impressed with my Saurian core unit build. They're really performing well. And my Warlord with the multiple wounds did all right. So thank you, Vespasian, for that. And he'll probably carry on. And there we have it. So thank you for watching that one. I know that my one tends to be a bit longer than Lucky Sixes because I just talk about everything. So apologies for that if it's a bit of a slog. I hope you enjoyed it. And get back to the batrep. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Give me some comments on my multiple mistakes and let me know.
Yes.
Well, if you agree with us that they were mistakes, and was this potential narrow victory thrown away, etc. Do you think it's as bad a matchup as I think it is, etc. Give us your thoughts on what you think that is, and how it all played out.
And of course, stay hydrated, folks.
Please do.
My goodness,
I'm sweltering.
The heat is incredible.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
We've had to turn our fans off for these battle recordings, and that's not good. Yeah, we're going for showers after this.
Absolutely. Together.
Over online showers.
Yes.
But yeah, no, we are Proxy Table Gaming. Get your system back, relax, with Proxy Table Gaming. Pachow. Thanks again, Matt. Catch us on all the social medias. I'm tending to favour Twitter a bit more recently. So Facebook, we are on Twitter and the forums and stuff like that. But if you like, for example, we've just done a Clash and put a load of stuff on that as well. So if you want the inside scoop, go to Twitter.
Great.
And hit us up on all the other social medias and things like that. Like, share, subscribe, drink lots and lots, and we will see you later.
A clash.
Yes.
Get your dino batrep action with Proxy.